the assistance of the IT expert to put the two photos side by side.
Okay.
We've checked with Advocate Nisi. He's satisfied with the two photos.
Okay.
That is what he wants.
Are you satisfied?
As it please the court, madam. Indeed, madam, I am. Thank you, madam.
Okay.
Thank you for the inductions and the assistant that I got from the state.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, madam. Now, sir, Lieutenant Colonel, we have two sets of photos there, just for identification purposes of those photos. The photo that is on the left, there is annotated the photo number 19. It's a photo it's an extract from a photo album that was compiled by Warrant Officer Muhlasho, as she then was. In other words, that photo was taken by her. It is contained, I just can't, in Exhibit B, in Exhibit D of Warrant Officer Muhlasho's photo album. I think we are at idem on that with the state. Now, the other photo that's on the right-hand side, it's a photo that is taken out of your photo album that was compiled by yourself, which is contained in Exhibit 1.3, in Exhibit X 13A, and that is photo number 12. Now, that is just a brief identification of those photos. I think you can confirm that the photo that is on the right-hand side, that I say is photo number 12, that was taken from your photo album. You're familiar with that photo, not so?
We are in the system that is the photo album.
That's correct, Malo. That's the photo that I took.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's coming a start.
Now, let's start here. Now, Advocate Warrant Officer Muhlasho, as she then was, arrives at the scene in 2014, goes through the scene, and took that photo. And then thereafter, you also arrive, you find them at the scene, you allow them to do whatever that they were busy with at the scene, and after they were done, you went on to investigate the scene, and subsequent to the two, you took your own photos. Is that correct?
That's correct, Malo.
Thank you. Now, Warrant Officer Muhlasho told this court that as a member, she was from the provincial task team, and she was in the LCRC division thereof. But in essence, she told the court that when they arrive at the scene, they don't interfere with the scene, they don't change anything at the scene before they can take photos. In other words, that photo, it's a true depiction of what she found at the scene, amongst others.
We go Warrant Officer Muhlasho, we're provincial task team. Ngaphansi kwe-LCRC yakhona uthi uma befika bona beyosebenza akukho lutho abelenzayo bengakazithathi iy'thombe benzela ukuthi kugcinwe indlela isimo sasinga ezithombeni akunjani?
Yes, thank you. Now, you also told the court that upon your arrival at the scene, this is what you did. You found Captain Bentley at the scene with his company. They were busy with the scene, and
bematasa khona lapho endaweni esigameko.
and upon their completion of their business with the scene, you then also got into the scene and you proceeded with your investigations.
Manje ke ukuthi masebeqedile ke ukwenza babekwenza lapha endaweni esigameko, nawe ke wakusuke uyangena ke wase ke uyenza olwakho uphele.
But particularly what you did at the scene is that you took measurements and also you took measurements of what could have happened at the scene, the points between actually the distance between the points that you were able to identify.
Manje utho umfika ke nawe kwafika wakala washeke uyaqala ukuthi ubudeke bamabanga khona la ngaphakathi kwisini ayingakanani.
And you then took photos of the scene and then you left. Is that what you did?
Wasithatha nesithombe wase uyahamba ikona lokho.
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo unjani?
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Now, when Warrant Officer Mushato testified, I attempted to do this very same demonstration. She was very adamant that she can only speak about a photo that she took, but that insofar as the photo that you yourself took, she would not say anything. You'd have to come and if there's something that I wanted to clarify, if there's something that I wanted clarity on, then I'll have to ask you. That opportunity is now today.
Njengoba Warrant Officer Mthatha mangibuza ngezithombe lezi wathi yena cha angaphendula kuphela kule ngezithombe yena azithatha wanqaba ukuphendula ngalezi zithombe wena owazithatha manje ke ithuba yilakho namhlanje uthuleni.
Now, and I want us to be very sincere. They say photos don't lie unless they've been manipulated. I've got reason to believe that that's not the case here. These photos have not been manipulated.
You say the last part again?
I'm saying I've got reason to believe that these photos have not been manipulated in any way.
Hayi ngicabanga ukuthi lezi zithombe lezi akekho owenza owaletha uguquko kuzo.
Thank you. Now let us start. Let us try to identify the differences, because that is going to be the exercise between these two photos.
Manje sizama ukubona ukuthi ukhona yini umehluko phakathi kwalezi zithombe ezimbili.
Do you see any difference yourself between these two photos?
Wena ubona yini umehluko phakathi kwalezi zithombe ezimbili?
I mean, as an expert.
Ngisho ukuthi njengoba wena ungumchwepheshe.
My lord, the only difference on these two photos is that the splinters in this one, these splinters here, fell down and then they are not there.
Umehluko ke ukuthi lapha yale kukhona ucezu lolukhuni lweplank olwaluwile kulesi esinye isithombe.
Thank you. Now, we need to be very specific. For purpose of the record now, you're saying the only difference that you're able to identify is that on the photos that were taken by Warrant Officer Mushatho, splinters of the wooden door are visible, whilst on the photo that was taken yourself, the splinters that are visible on Warrant Officer Mushatho's photo are not visible on yours, not so?
Asizwane ukuthi wena uthi kukhona ke lezi nezi zamaplango lezi esikhona lapha lesisithombe sathothwa Warrant Officer Mthatha and lapha kwesakho lesithombe azibonakali.
That's correct, my lord.
Thank you, sir.
Yebo unjani?
Thank you. So this is going to be a very short exercise. Now, do you agree that that is the same door?
Uyavuma ukuthi umnyango wodwa lo lapha kulesithombe zombili.
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo kunjani?
Do you also agree that these photos were taken the same day?
Ngiyavuma futhi nokuthi lezi izithombe zathathwa ngosuku olulodwa.
My lord, I don't know when was this photo taken, but that photo was taken on the 27th, day after the incident.
Angazi ukuthi lesi sithombe sathathwa nini kodwa lesi sithombe sathathwa ngomhla 27.
Let me quickly assist you. In Exhibit D, Warrant Officer Mushatlo says on the 27th of October 2014 at 8, she arrived at the scene. At 9:10, she arrived at the scene where the incident took place. That is the scene where you also went to. But in any event, is that not your testimony that you also found her there?
Officer uthi ngomhla 27 wafika endaweni yesigameko kodwa manje ke wena uthini uthi wamthola ngizosengathi uthi wamthola khona lapho.
That's correct, my lord.
Thank you.
Yebo kunjani?
That is the day on which these two photos were taken.
Kusho ukuthi ke ilanga lapho ezathathwa ngalo lezi izithombe zombili.
Thank you. Now, would you agree with me that the fact that on the photos, or on the photo, which is depicted on the screen, which is a photo that was taken by you, that is on the left-hand side, there are no splinters.
Kumelana nami uthi azikho ingcezo enkuni zeplangwe.
I mean, on the right-hand side, on the right-hand side.
Singakwesokudla.
Sorry.
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo kunjani?
And would you agree with me that a probable cause or reason why there could not be splinters on the photos that is depicted on the right-hand side, as there are splinters on the photos on the left-hand side, the probable cause thereof would be that somebody might have removed them?
Njengoba ezingekho-ke engekho lezi zinto zamaplangwe lapha kulesi sithombe sangawesokudla kusho ukuthi khona owazisusa akunjalo?
My lord, I cannot exclude that possibility, and I also cannot exclude the possibility that when the door closes, because those splinters are very loose hanging there. If you close the door hard, they will fall also.
Angicangela ukuthi uma uvale isicapha ngamandla lezi ngcezo zamaplangwe zawo.
Thank you. Warrant of, I'm sorry. Lieutenant Colonel, that will be a very strange phenomenon. Look, this incident happened at about between 7:30 and 8 o'clock the previous night. So those printers have been there for the whole night. Warrant Officer Mushatlo comes and work at the scene. And mind you, people have been going in and out. The scene was interfered with. That's not doubt about it. Warrant Officer Mushatlo comes and take a photo the following day. That is almost more than 9 hours, if I'm not mistaken. No, not 9 hours. It's almost more than 12 hours. Comes and take photos. Found those splinters there. You come and take photos. Those splinters have suddenly been removed by the fact that the door is closing and been opened.
Limangazayo ukuthi emva kwamahora ayishumi emva kwesigameko kwafika uwarrant officer Mhlahlo owakwazi ukuthi methatha isithombe athola ukuthi lama-splitters asekhona. Wona musufika lapho uthi wavala umnyango ama-splitters awasekho.
Is that really possible?
Into engenzeka yini le?
My lord, I don't deny
Yes.
possibility of a person removing them, and also that cannot be the only possibility. You must also look at the other possibility, as I said, the possibility that when it closes or it bends, those splinters can fall.
Yes.
Angali ukuthi kungaba khona mhlambe ubengabe wasusile lama-splinters kodwa ke ngithi ungayivaleli ngaphandle ukuthi ungenzeka ukuthi ke futhi uma ukuthi khona uzoshaya umnyanga ushaye kakhulu lama-splinters angawo.
Now, as an expert, ballistic expert, did you really check if those splinters were lying down there around the door?
njengochwepheshe kwebhalisiko wahlola yini phansi ukuthi awile lama-splinters awela phansi?
On the crime scene,
We're talking about the crime scene, yes.
did I check them whether they were there?
That's the question.
No, my lord.
As per your suggestion that
No.
they could have fallen to the floor.
No, I didn't.
Thank you.
Zange ngihlole ukuthi lama-splinters angabe wile phansi yini.
You know, Lieutenant Colonel, it's gone. It's back. Thank you. Lieutenant Colonel, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. The reason why there are no splinters on the photo that you took there, this is basically a confirmation of what this witness that the state is going to call would come and say to this court. And that is what it's going to say. That I was at the scene, that he was at the scene. You also arrived at the scene, did your own investigation. And on that door, you found an exhibit which you did not disclose to this court, to the investigating officer. That can only explain the reason why those things are not there. In other words, you explored that door, which enabled you to find that exhibit.
Owenza ukuthi-ke ma-splinters angabe bekho ukuthi wathi uma ufika lapha endaweni yesigameko wafika wathola ukuthi kukhona into obufanele uyivezile ongayivezile la enkantolo mayelana nalezi thombe.
My lord, the bullet that hit the door is the same bullet that went through the deceased body. And when it hit the door, it was not damaged by the door. So there won't be any piece of bullet found on that piece of damage on the door.
Usho ukuthi le ntambo eyashaya yamnyango yadlula kumufi okusho ukuthi ngeke itholakale leyo ntambo lapha kuleyo mnyango.
Now, I like it when you say you work on objective evidence. That is also objective evidence. But let me tell you that the state is going to call that witness and is going to confirm what is depicted on that objective evidence.
Hayi njengoba uthona usebenzisa ufakazi ungathathi ihlangothi uzofika ufakazi la enkantolo ozofika aphikise lowo ufakazi ukukhona.
My lord, if I removed any bullet fragment or any piece of bullet from this damage here, while Lieutenant Colonel Mhlato or Warrant Officer Mhlato was examining that or took the picture of it, why is it not visible there? Because there's no sign of any bullet or any bullet fragment there. And if you look at the shape of that damage there and this shape, it's exactly the same.
Amufuwa lapha umonakalo lapha kulesi sithombe esinye nalo la kuyafana. Bengeke ngikwazi ukuthi ngithathe ngikhiphe inhlamvu lapha uwarrant officer Mhlato ekhona.
That is what that witness is going to come and say. And the state is going to call him. And we are going to show him those photos. He's going to confirm, the difference there is simply because on the other photo that was taken by Lieutenant Colonel Mangena, why those printers are not there, is because there was an exploration, there was, I don't know how to put it, babefuna something lapha, they have I thought. That is what it's going to say.
I don't know which witness is it that my colleague is referring to, and I don't know why is he saying we're going to call that witness and putting that as a fact to to this witness. If maybe my colleague can let the court in as to who is this witness and why is he saying that the state is going to call him. We've made clear who the remaining witnesses are.
Thank you, Madam.
Normally when you process the crime scene, you
Yes.
don't allow people into the crime scene.
Yes.
I wonder where that witness is coming from. Because when you process the crime scene, it was myself,
Yes.
my two colleagues,
Yes.
and Warrant Officer Mhlato, and
Yes.
2 or 3 of his members only
Thank
So
you.
if they said I did that during the examination of that, I don't know when and where was that person when we were doing that.
Thank you.
angazi akuvunyelwe ukuthi kube nabantu abangenayo uma ukuthi sihlola indawo yesigameko ngoba kwakuyimina owayelapha no-warrant officer Mhlathu naye sizana naye nabe sizana naye angazi ngoba mina ngizange ngenze lutho lapha angazi ukuthi lo umuntu osho wayezobe ewuphi ngaleso sikhathi uma ngibhizi mina ngisusa leziya ncezu zeplani.
That's the reason why when I arrived at the scene, they were busy processing the crime scene. I only came and informed them that I'm here. I didn't even go into the crime scene because I know when they're processing, we are not allowed to get into until they said now the scene is clear, we can go in.
Yes.
Uma ngifika lapha ngafika ngabatshela nje ukuthi ngikhona kodwa ngisangenayo lapha uma besebhizi besenza umsebenzi wabo lapha asibathikamisi baze basitshele bona ukuthi hayi sebeqedile sesingakwazi ukungena.
Thank you. That is your answer. May I quickly respond to the concerns that are raised by the state? That witness, the reason why I'm saying the state is going to call that witness is because his name is appearing twice in the list of state witnesses, which emphasizes the fact that they are going to call him. His name does not only appear once, it appears twice.
Yes,
you can go and decipher who that witness is.
Ngiyazi ukuthi uzobizwa lo fakazi le ngikhuluma ngaye ngoba igama lakhe livezile kabili and lokho kuletha isiqiniseko sokuthi uzobizwa ngempela.
Thank you, sir. That is what I wanted to bring to your attention in respect of this exercise. But before I conclude in this one, it will be a sad day that indeed the witness will come and tell this court that a Lieutenant Colonel of the Ballistic Science Laboratory of South Africa found an exhibit, and up until now we don't know what happened to that exhibit.
I'll be happy to see that witness.
Thank you.
Ngizothokoza ukuzobona lo fakazi lona ukuthiwa uzofika azothi uLieutenant wakwa-ballistic wafika wathola umbukiso lapha awukhipha awususa kodwa wangawuveza enkantolo.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel. Now, I've got instructions here from Mr. Mngube to hand over this document and have a very brief discussion with you on the content of this document. I'm going to request the court orderly. Okay, thank you, sir. He's there. It's one for the court. Thank you. I think the state does have this document because these are all the documents that we got from the state. You can just show them what document am I referring them to. Just show the state. Just show the state. Yeah, I'm referring to that document. Thank you. As it pleases the court, my lord, subsequent to this, I'm going to request that this document be admitted in as an exhibit, my lord. I've just lost the count of the number of documentary exhibits that, yeah, okay, sure, yeah. But nonetheless, Lieutenant Colonel, these are my instructions from Mr. Mngube. That number one, no, it's from the streets. Objection. Now, this is a document that comes from the South African Police Services. Very briefly, it was a document that was prepared by Major Bayat and Detective Constable Dlamini in 28 February 2015. It's a document that it's a memorandum that they actually directed to the Forensic Science Laboratory, a unit that you're working for, that's the ballistic section. And it's addressed to Captain Makula, which says is a request for IB's comparison. Never mind the spelling mistake. It's a request for IB's comparison. But my instructions from Mr. Mngube are as follows. Is that subsequent to the alleged discovery of the firearm, or let me put it this way, subsequent to the discovery of the firearm allegedly in his possession, then there was a request that was done by Major Bayat and Detective Constable Dlamini that they should go, a request that was directed to the ballistic section of the Forensic Science Laboratory, that they should trace, I'm avoiding to use the word check, but that they should check whether the firearm is in no way linked in the cases that are annotated in this document. I hope you follow.
I follow, my lord.
Thank you.
So le sistelo leli phepha leli nesicelo imemorandum yesicelo sasuvela ku Major Bayat noDlamini esathunyelwa ku Captain Mkula se Forensic Laboratory becela ukuthi akwenziwe uqhathaniso ngaphansi komshini lo ibhisi. Emva kwaloko ke kwase isicelo lesicelo ukuthi akuhlole ukuthi kungenzeka yini ukuthi lesi spam lesi siyabandakanyeka yini kula macala.
I won't go through the list of all these cases, but imperatively, Foslorus case 63610 of 2014 is also mentioned among those cases.
Ngeke ngwafunda wonke la macala kodwa ke icala leli la Foslorus which number is it?
636. Foslorus case 636 of 10 of 2014.
636 ka 10 ka 2014. Foslorus naye ufakiwe kuloluhlu lwamacala abhaliwe la. So
in other words, they were already aware of the incident of Foslorus case 636 is the case that we're busy with here. So in other words, the police there at I think that is at Cleveland, they were already aware of this incident. So they also included it for a possible determination on whether the firearm that was allegedly found in possession of Mr. Mngube could have been one of the many ways also involved in the commission of the offense of Foslorus case 63610 of 2014.
Ushuthi ukuthi leli cala ukuze livele lapha kulamacala la abhaliwe lapha usho ukuthi basesebazi ukuthi kukhona leli cala leli okusho ukuthi bagcina belifakile ukuthi kuhlole ukuthi na lo uzohlola lapha kuyabandakanyeka yini kuleli cala leli nalo elifakiwe la.
Thank you. Now what he instructs me is the following. Number one, that the investigating officers of this case, inter alia, that is amongst others, Warrant Officer Masondo, verbatimly informed him that as per the investigation of this case, they told him, that is now Masondo and company, the investigating officers of this case, that the firearm that was found in his possession, allegedly in his possession, was excluded as a firearm there was involved in the commission of this case in First Orders, case 63610 of 2014.
That's a good place, but we object to that question. It's stated as a fact that Masondo and Dlamini told accused number 3 that this firearm was excluded. We submit, my lord, that it is unfair to put this question to the witness without laying any basis, showing any documents, and just putting that general proposition to the witness, my lord.
As it pleases the court, my lord, may I quickly respond? These are instructions. They don't come from me. Do you understand? So I cannot simply decide not to convey the instructions that are from my client to a witness, my lord. Remember, this case is not it's not about me, it's about him. And I find no offense, my lord, in putting this version to this witness, because that is what, if circumstances permit, if circumstances were to warrant, he will come and tell this court. I'm not so sure whether, my lord, I should continue putting his version to this witness, or should I then discontinue?
You are counsel. You must decide what you want to do.
As it pleases the court, madam, I'm going to decide to proceed to put the version.
And just before you put furthermore, this witness is testified, and it's not our recollection that this version was put
Which
to those
witness are you talking about, Mr. Dlamini?
Dlamini and Masondo.
Yeah, both of them testified.
Yes,
And this assertion was never put to both of them.
that is our recollection.
Because they alleged that they were with the informer in Cleveland on that street when they saw this gentleman accompanied by his girlfriend
Yes.
in a car. They followed, and then the gentleman, in this case, got into the house.
Yes, indeed.
And then they arrested him, searched him, gave them permission, and found the firearm there.
Yes, there is the extent.
And when they
of that
testified here,
evidence. Yes.
they never said anything about what is here today. Fine, it's okay.
Indeed.
Yes, sir.
As it pleases the court, my lord, R versus Hepworth.
No, I said you can proceed.
Thank
I'm
you,
not
my
stopping
lord.
you.
Yes. It really does not mean, my lord, that if this version was never put to those two witnesses, it cannot be put now. If circumstances were to arise, we are going to make an application and request the court to recall them. And if the court were not to be amenable in recalling them in terms of Section 186, we are going to call them as our witnesses.
Yeah, you can call that witness.
Got
No
that
problem.
very open to policy.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, my lord.
Okay.
That was just number one. And number two, they also told him that because they also investigated his cell phone, they also found that his cell phone was not near the scene at the time at which it is alleged that this offense was committed.
Waphinde bamtshela nokuthi ke i-cellphone yakhe yayingekho eduze kwendawo yesigameko ngoba bayibheka ne-cellphone yakhe. Umuntu oqala bathi lesi sibhamu lesi satholakala asithinteki kuleli cala.
I'm requesting an indulgence, Madam, just to remind me one thing. I think there's something that I'm skipping that Mr. Mwe told me. May I take instructions?
Yeah. You can take instructions.
Oh, thank you, Madam. Thank you.
I can't stop you.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you for the indulgence, my lord. Further on, Lieutenant Colonel, Mr. Mngube is reminding me that there was a list of cases. I think that is when you were cross-examined by my colleague, Mr. Mngomezulu Plahal, for accused number 1, where you read into record a list of cases that were investigated in relation to the firearm that was allegedly found in his possession. I think though that list was also handed in as an exhibit. I can't just remember that exhibit, but what I can remember is that at the very first bottom, at the very first top of that list. Thank you. At the very, on page 1, I think that is the affidavit that comprises of 27 pages. That was prepared by Yashni Berlinda Paul. You were requested to read into record the list of those cases that were investigated to find out if possibly the firearm allegedly found in his possession could also not be involved in those list of cases. But what I've noted is that you started by reading that the second case, which is a Sassolberg case, you omitted Foslora's case 636. I'm not so sure whether that was done purposefully or it was a mistake, but nonetheless, my instructions from him are that where are those results of this case, of these cases that you read into record, and whether or not his firearm was also found to have been involved in the list of these cases that you read into record, including that case 63610 of 2014, as per the affidavit of Yashni Belinda Paul.
Lokuhlala macala la owafundile ngesikhathi ke ubuzwa umbuzo umeli Mngomezulu uthi ke ufuna ukwazi ukuthi ke sasibandakanyeka yini lesi sibhamu kulawo lamacala.
Well, I'll start with the Yashni. There was a list of cases that I have read. I said the bullet in this case. There was a request to compare the bullet in this case, the first Loras case, with those cases starting with the Sassolberg case and the Evander and Yashni Paul did the comparison. The copy that we have is the report from Yashni Paul, where she did the comparison. So it was not to be done by myself, it was done by Yashni Paul.
Oh, okay. Since I don't say Yashni Paul, kulunyana namacala lawa awasesasol nase-Evander, so akubona into umsebenzi owenziwa yimina umuntu owenza lo msebenzi kwakuyi-Ashley Paul.
Thank you. And secondly, on the request, if you look at the request, it's sent to IBIS for comparison.
Yes.
Mungabheka-ke nesicelo sithunyelwe ku-IBIS ukuthi kuyoqenza umsebenzi wokuqhathanisa.
Yes.
The cases are mentioned there to be compared to the
macala-ke abhaliwe lapha afanele kuyoqhathaniswa-ke kulesi sibhamu lesi.
And first Loras 363 of 10, 2014 is also in the list.
Nje ku-first Loras 636 of 2014 nalo likhona la.
Thank you, sir.
Malot, I have explained how IBIS work, as I said. With IBIS system, the Integrated Ballistics Identification System, if it's pistols, we acquire only cartridge cases on the system. We don't acquire the bullets. So in this case, first Loras 636 of 10, there are no cartridge cases, it's only a bullet.
Okay.
So when they did a comparison, they compared the firearm with the cases where they were cartridge cases. There was no link between this firearm, and that's how they missed this link, because there was no cartridge case and there was only bullet. And with this firearm, there was no bullet acquired on the system.
Thank you, sir.
Lokho kulana bese ngichazile ukuthi iBIS isebenza kanjani ukuthi ke uma kusetshenziswa ke ngamapistol kusho ukuthi ibhamu lezi singawahlanzi amagobolondo ezibhamu kusetshenziswa ibullet kuphela iyona ke into eyenza ukuthi kugcineke bekwazile ukuthi basigeje bangasiboni lesi sibhamu.
Thank you, sir. Now, finally, this is what Mr. Mngube will come and tell this court. If needs be, he would say, he was never involved in the commission of this offense.
Umzinakathi uzofika athi lana yena akazange nje athinteke kulamacala.
My Lord, I have linked the bullet that was recovered at the crime scene with the firearm.
Mina ke ngikwazile ukukhombisa ukuxhumana kwale zinhlamvu ezatholakala endaweni yesigameko nesibhamu.
He will also say, he never was in possession of this firearm on this date.
Uzophinda futhi athi ngalezo zinsuku isibhamu lesi kwangesona sakhe.
I cannot comment on that, my Lord.
Ngeke ngikwazi ukuphawula ngalokho.
He will further say that as per the state's allegation, on this day on which this offense was committed, he was never near the scene with Mr. Sibia, Mr. Ntanzi, Mr. Mapisa, Mr. Ntuli as well, at the scene.
Manje uzophika yena ukuthi wayekhona eduze noma kule ndawo lesigameko ngalelo langa kanye noSibiya noNtanzi noMaphisa noNtuli.
No comment, my Lord.
Anginaphawula engakuletha.
Sorry, how do you phrase the assertion, Mr. Nisi? How did you phrase it?
I'm saying at the scene.
Yeah, you're fine. He will say he was never at the scene with some other people.
Let me repeat it, madam.
Yes, the way you said it. Because you mentioned the names of Danzi, Mapisa, Sebeya.
Yes, those are accused before court, madam.
Yeah, I just want to clear my mind that you are saying that. You are saying that.
Yes,
He will say.
if needs be.
Yeah, fine. If needs be, he will
Yes,
say.
he will come and say he was never ever at the scene as it is alleged by the state in their indictment with Mr. Sibiya, Mr. Ntanzi, Mr. Mapisa, and Mr. Ntuli.
Okay, fine.
Thank you, madams. You said you don't have a comment.
No comment, my Lord.
Good, yes.
Yebo anginaphawula kulokho.
Finally, he will say that he will stick to his version that is supported in terms of the cell phone investigations that were presented by the state as per the testimony of Mrs. Vitilingam.
Alizoqhubeka ke athi yena ke usekelwa uhlaziyo olwenziwa emafonini olwenziwa Miss Vitilingam ukuthi wayengekho endaweni yesigameko.
No comment.
Angiphawuli lutho.
Thank you, sir. My Lord, may I quickly approach Mr. Ngube to find out if there's anything that I've left out. Thank you, my Lord. Thank you for the indulgence, my lord. So thank you very much. I've got no further question for you. And thank you for the assistance. Thank you very much. Sir.
Yes, Mr. Nomalo.
Just a second, my lord. I think there's something that Mr. Ngomezulu would want to bring to my attention.
Yeah.
As it please the court, my lord. Maybe just before we wrap, a bit of an extension. Further on, accused number, not accused, Mr. Mnube would further tell this court that on the date of the occasioning of the incident, he never knew accused number 1 and accused number 2. He only started to know them when they were brought to court at, is it Boxbeck, at Springs, in Boxbeck, yes.
So lesithathu ngabazi umsola uqala wesibili ngaphambili nowaqala ukubazi sebeya enkantolo sebehomacala enkantolo yaseboxburg eSprings.
No comment on that, Malo.
Akukho engakuphawula ngalokho.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant Colonel.
Thank you, sir.
Have a bright future. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
As it please the court, my lord, there's a document that I said I'm going to request that to be handed in as an exhibit. I'm informed, my lord, that we can hand it in as exhibit triple L4.
Triple L.
L4, my lord, yes.
Okay,
I think it's in bracket 4.
it's so marked.
Thank you very much, my lord. Thank you, please.
I suppose you will show one. Thank you, my lord. May I proceed? Thank you. Lieutenant Colonel, before you handled this case, that is in 2014, did you know our ballistic expert, Mr. Dave Peters?
Ongakaseziya icala 2014 wawumazini nochwepheshe olutho abameli we-ballistic.
That's correct, Malo.
Yebo,
How did you know him?
wamazi kanjani?
We were working together, Malo.
Sasebenza naye.
He found me working at the lab.
Wangithola ngisebenza le.
When was that?
Kunini?
In which year was that?
I can't recall
Ngimuphi
which year.
unyawo? Wathi angisawukhumbula unyawo.
I started working at Ballistics in 1995 and then he came after. I don't know which year. I
Mina
can't
ngaqala
recall which
ukusebenza
year.
ngo-1995 weza kamuva ngazi ukuthi weza ngamuphi unyawo.
Is it also correct, Colonel, that you refer this court to some cases that you did outside the borders of the Republic? For instance, the one in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Sorry, you are a bit
Is it correct that there are cases that you referred to? One of them is the one that you did in DRC. In DRC.
usho ukuthi ngizwe ukuthi kuthiwa khona amacala owake wawenza ngaphandle kwemingcele yomzansi iqiniso yini ukuthi khona icala owalenza endaweni yase-Democratic Republic of Congo?
That's correct, Malo.
Yebo, kunjani?
And that involved the reconstruction of a case involving the Minister of Transport in that country. And your conclusion was that the wounds were self-inflicted. Is that correct?
Ukuthi lapho kwakukhona-ke omunye wama-minister lapha kuleyo kwakuthiwa niyozama ukuthi niveze isithombe sokuthi ngabe kwenzeke yini lapho and isiphetho salapho ukuthi nathathi isinqumo sokuthi-ke la ayelimele khona wayezilimazile yena uqobo.
That is correct, Malo.
Athi yebo, kunjani?
Is it further correct that you told this court that you did that case last year, that is in 2023, around July 2023 or the beginning of August 2023? Do you confirm that?
iqiniso nokuthi leli cala linasenzanga la ngasemaphethelweni kaJuly nasekuqaleni ka-August 2023.
I can't recall the days, but yes, last year.
Angisakhumbuli insuku kodwa-ke kungiyiwona lo nyaka odlule.
Lieutenant Colonel, were you the only expert from the Republic of South Africa who went there to do the examination, or there were other experts from the
Ungana
Republic?
wedwa yini uchwepheshe ophuma la kwelasemzansi owaya lini i-DRC noma akhona yini abanye uchwepheshe ohambisane nabo?
Well, from the ballistics, I was alone.
Uphuma kwa-ballistic kwakuyimina kuphela.
Do you know if there were any other independent experts who were from the Republic of South Africa?
Uyawazi yini ukuthi bakhona yini abanye ochwepheshe abazimele ababephuma kwelasemzansi?
My lord, I know that Mr. Peters, Dave Peters, went there after I compiled the report.
Ngiyazi ukuthi uDave Peters waya lapho mase ngiqedile-ke ukubhala umbiko wami.
When did you compile your report? Finalize your report?
Waqeda nini-ke ukubhala umbiko wakho?
I compiled the report while I was still in DRC.
Ngabhala lo mbiko ngisekhona lapha i-DRC.
I'm informed by Mr. Dave Peterson that you are correct. He did attend to that scene in DRC. It was in November 2023, last year.
Ngitshela uDave ukuthi wakuleya ndawo ku-November 2023.
And he came to the same conclusion as you are.
And futhi naye wathi mese saziya lapha uthola ukuthi cha umbiko wakhe-ke ngalo lolu hlaziyo ofana nowakho.
Yes, my lord, I know that he went to the DRC after I compiled the report there, and he went there just to do a verification or compare it to do a verification on my report, and he came to the same conclusion as I did.
Cha uthi ngempela uyazi ukuthi wathi mese wenza ucwaningo ngiyobheka ukuthi awenze isiqiniseko ngalo msebenzi owenziwa yimina naye wafikela kulesi sinqumo engafinyelela kusona.
Sorry, my lord. May I request just an indulgence to approach Mr. Peterson?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm instructed by the expert, Mr. Dave Peterson, that he did not work on your report at all. He received the case and worked on the case and came to his own conclusion.
Uthi yena akazange afunde owakho umbiko, uthi yena naye wafika wazenzela olwakhe ucwaningo lapha and then wasezibhalela-ke owakhe umbiko.
Well, I was informed that they needed a private, I'll say, they needed another expert to come and do the reconstruction also and look at my report and see if we can reach the same conclusions.
Angeze ukuthi kwathiwa kwadingeka ukuthi kube nomunye uchwepheshe awuzimele owezafike lapha ayobuka naye ukuthi kwakwenzekeni lapha and ngizwa ukuthi nje kwagcina naye esethola ukuthi uvumelana nalokhu engakuthola.
No, it is fine, Lieutenant Kennedy is going to come and tell this court about the developments in that country, whether he worked on your findings or he exclusively worked on his own examination. Thank you.
Ukuthi uzofika-ke azochaza yena ngokwakho ukuthi mase kuleliya zilizo wasebenzanga ngombiko wakho noma wazenzela owakhe umbiko.
But finally, to rest this, he says that he never saw your report.
Uthi yena akakaze ubone umbiko wakho.
But I know that my report was there with them. And
Yeah.
when he was called as an independent expert, he went there because my report was also there, just to confirm if my findings are the same. So
Yeah,
the
so-
possibility of him seeing that report cannot be excluded.
yazi ukuthi wawubona umbiko wami wawukhona lapho yazi ukuthi waya lapha wafika uthola umbiko wami ukhona ngoba babethe bafuna uchwepheshe ozimele ukuthi naye ayobuka la.
You also told this court, Lieutenant Colonel, that you worked on the Marikana case.
Marikana case?
Yes.
No,
You did not.
I did not work on Marikana case.
Ngizwa ukuthi wathi ukuthi wena wasebenza ngaleli cala lasemarikana yaphika uthi cha ngizange ngisebenze ngaleli cala lasemarikana.
Lieutenant Colonel, let us move to Exhibit C of the report, which is the photo album which was compiled by Constable Musia. May I request with the leave of the court that the exhibit, that is Exhibit C of the record, be deemed for purposes of my cross-examination.
Can I please ask that you raise your voice? I quite find you completely inaudible.
I'll try.
I do agree that
Yeah,
there is
the
a
aircon,
challenge,
yes, I'll
but
try.
it would help.
Yeah.
As the court pleases.
Thank you, my Lord. I see that the exhibit, that is Exhibit C, has been deemed for purposes of my cross-examination. If we can go to photo 5 of Exhibit C.
So esithombeni sesihlanu sika Exhibit C.
Can you try photo 6? When you arrived, Lieutenant Colonel, at the scene on the 27th of October 2014, did you see the bullet jacket at the scene?
Mufika lapha ngomhla 27 October 2014. Wayibona yini leli? Did you say
Jacket.
black jacket?
Bullet jacket.
Oh, wayibona yini le gobolondo le nhlamvu lapha endaweni yesigameko?
My Lord, as I said, when I arrived at the scene, crime scene management were busy processing the crime scene, and then they removed the exhibit. I didn't see the bullet.
Angizange ngibone le nhlamvu ngoba ngasho ukuthi uma ngifika lapha ngathola ukuthi khona abanye abasebenza lapha endaweni yesigameko. So bakuthatha bonke okwatholakala la.
Is it also correct, Lieutenant Colonel, that you took photos, your photos of the crime scene and measurements at the scene on the 27th of October 2014?
Iqiniso ukuthi ngomhla 27 October 2014 nawe wafika wathatha waqala lapha ke wasethatha nezakhe ithombe.
That's correct, my Lord.
Yebo kunjalo.
If you can remember, we'll be now be using Exhibit X13A of the record. Where is it? X13A. photo number 9 and 10 of exhibit X13A, which is your photo album, or your affidavit, I'm sorry. If you can remember, Lieutenant Colonel, the bullet which was fired 90 degrees on the floor tile, can you remember how far was it from the cupboards which are depicted on exhibit C of Constable Mosia?
On the that photo,
Yes,
how far was it?
yes, how far was it?
It was close to those cabinets.
Intambo leshaya lapha kulesi sithombe ekude kangakanani namakhabethe wathi yayiseduze nala makhabethe.
Is it correct that you did not take any measurements?
Qiniso yini ukuthi awuzange ukale?
Any measurement from
Yes,
the cabinet?
from the bullet hole to the cabinets which are depicted on exhibit C of Mosia.
Iqiniso yini ukuthi awuzange ukale kusuka lapha eshaya khona intambo nekhabethe?
I took the measurements from the door to that point. Where it was.
Ngathatha ke ngaqala ukusuka lapha eminyango kuyofika ekhabetheni.
So the measurements from the point to the cupboards, you did not take any measurements?
From the point?
Yes, at the
No,
floor
I didn't
tile.
take measurements.
Cha ngizange ngikale lapha.
From the physical evidence, Lieutenant Colonel, that you found at the scene, were you able to tell if at the time when the person was firing a shot, which hand did he use to fire the shot, or you couldn't?
Wakwazi yini ukuthi mhlambe saziyo ukuthi lo wayedubula ngalesi sikhathi edubula lapho wayengabe esebenzisa siphi isandla mhlambe?
But I couldn't because I don't know which direction was the person facing.
Angeke ngikwazi lokho ngoba ngangingazi ukuthi wayebhekephi lowo muntu ngaleso sikhathi.
I will take you Lieutenant Colonel to the evidence of the 18th of July 2023 at page 52, which is the evidence of Zandile Lorraine Kuman. She testified on the 18th of July 2023. The passage that I want to refer you is at line 13 of the record of the proceedings of the 18th of July 2023. It's at page 52. Before I go there, Lieutenant Colonel, is it correct that you told this court that you look at the shape of the bullet marking damage on the tile? It was a circular shape and the shot was fired at 90 degrees straight down. Do you remember that?
That's correct.
Sakhumbula ukuthi lethu kufazi ukuthi uthe uma ubheka ngobona ukuthi ke exesha la exesha khona inhlamvu kwakuyindingilizi waseke uthatha isinqumo sokuthi ke inhlamvu yangena lapho ukuthi iqonde ngqo phansi wathi
Is it further correct, Lieutenant Colonel, that you testified that if someone was close to that area, they could have been hit by the bullet fragments?
Kuyiqiniso yini futhi ukuthi uthe uma kukhona wayeseduze lapho wayeyoshaywa yincezu zenhlamvu?
Yes, but I said the possibility of a person who was close within that vicinity could have been hit by the fragments from the impact of that bullet.
Yebo ngishilo ukuthi kwakungenzeka ukuthi uma kukhona owayeseduze wayeyoshaywa yilezo ncezu zenhlamvu.
Are you able to tell this court, Lieutenant Colonel, how far would be that person when the fragments hit him after the shot is fired 90 degrees
Kungakwazi ukuthi uchaze yini ukuthi umuntu wayefanele abe seduze noma kude kangakanani ukuthi akwazi ukufinyelelwa yilezo ncezu zenhlamvu?
My lord, I do not know where the person was when he fired the shot. I do not know which direction was he facing. So I cannot place him on the scene to say that he was standing here or he was standing this close to the bar.
angazi ukuthi wayebheke phela angazi ukuthi wayeseduze kangakanani ngisho umedubula lesi sikhathi so angikwazi nje ukuthi ngisho ukuthi wayengaphinde kangakanani.
But you confirm from the physical evidence that that person who fired the shot at 90 degrees down will be in the vicinity of the damage on the tile.
Uthe lo muntu lo odubule inhlamvu yaqonda ngaphansi wayebe seduze nalo monakalo okumathayi.
Yes, because I'm looking at the damage on the tire.
Yes.
It's in a circular shape. If it's in a circular shape, it shows how the bullet flew. It's like when you drop anything from, just drop it at 90 degrees, it falls direct. It's unlike when you push it to the side. It creates an oval shape impact point. So this one is a round shape. It shows that it's at an angle of approximately 90 degrees. So I cannot say because it's 90 degrees. The person was very close or could have been fired in this position, but I cannot tell which direction or how far was this person who fired the shot.
Ngingakazi ukubona ukuthi ngoba lapha kuyabokhombisa ukuthi la yasha khona inhlamvu kuyindingilezi ekhombisa ukuthi inhlamvu lena yayiphuma phezulu uqonde ngqo phansi wayephuma eceleni eyokhipha ke mhlambe ke kubonakale kuyile ilento engathiwa i-oval ngesilungu okusho ukuthi indingilizi engalingene kusho into engathi inwebekile okhombisayo ukuthi inhlamvu leyo eyobe iphuma ngaseceleni kodwa ke angikwazi ukusho ukuthi le nhlamvu lena wayidubula eme kanjani ngoba engabe lulile isandla wadubula phansi noma avela aqondise la eceleni kwakhe adubule kusho ukuthi angeke ngikwazi ukuletha isiqiniseko sokuthi ngiyazi ukuthi wayekuphi.
So we are not in a position to tell this court how far will be the person who is injured will be in relation to the person who is firing a shot at 90 degrees.
So
is that what you are saying?
Angeke kwazi ukuletha uncazelo ukuthi lo muntu lona wayefanele alimele manje wayekude kangakanani nalo wayedubula isibhamu lesisika 90 degrees.
My Lord, I said whoever was within the vicinity of this bullet impact was closer to that could have been hit by the fragments. So I cannot tell exactly how far would this person be.
Ngithe mina yotholakala eseduze nale nhlamvu eshaya lapha phansi uyena kwayelimala kodwa ngishonga ukuthi ngiyazi ukuthi lo muntu lo wadubula ekude kangakanani.
By vicinity, what do you mean? A person who is in the vicinity. What do you mean by that?
Manje uchaza ukuthini ke uma usebenzisa leli gama elithi vicinity elisho ukuthi eduze.
Closer to that area of the bullet impact.
Angisho ukuthi ebeseduze nalapho ke inhlamvu yashaya khona.
Could that person be a meter away?
Yenzeka yena ukuthi lo muntu abe ibanga lemitha kusuka kuleyo ndawo.
Meaning the person who shot the fire,
the person who is who got injured as a result of the shot being fired.
Ngisho lo muntu oyengalinyazwa ke incezu zenhlamvu.
I cannot tell whether a meter or more than that, but within that vicinity. As long as you're within that vicinity, it can be a meter, it can be less than a meter, but within that vicinity. But I can't tell exactly how far it could be.
Angeke ngikwazi ukuthi efanele bekude kangakanani mhlambe ke asithi imitha noma ngaphansi kwemitha la kodwa angeke ngikwazi ukusho ngiletha nesiqiniseko sokuthi wayeyobe kude kangakanani.
Lieutenant Colonel, for purposes of my cross-examination, I'm then going to read the passage at page 52 of the proceedings of the 18th of July 2023, where it reads as follows, and I quote, Miss Kumalo, when I heard that hitting the floor, it is so happened that Tumelo also heard it, so that we heard the same thing. I ran into the bedroom and he ran into the bedroom.
Uyakhuluma-ke la uMskhumalo uthi-ke ngathi uma ngizwa kushaya lapha phansi kwenze ukuthi uTumela naye wezwa kusho ukuthi-ke sezwa into eyodwa ngabalekela ebathroom and naye wabalekela ebedroom.
But I think it was relevant that I start at the top part of the record, at line 6 for the background history of my cross-examination. It reads as follows. Ms. Khumalo, when the fire went off, I then heard something hitting the floor, and then a spark went off, and then it hit me on my foot, close quotation.
That part is not on the screen.
When the fire went off, it is line number 6.
Ms. Khumalo, uma siqhuma isibhamu ngase ngizwa okuthize kushaya lapha phansi ngase ngibona inhlansi isuka nenhlansi ngase ngishaya ke onyaweni.
So we now know, Lieutenant Colonel, that as a result of that shot which was fired 90 degrees on the floor, Ms. Khumalo, Zandile Khumalo, got injured as she stayed in that passage.
Siyazi-ke ukuthi emva kokuthi le nhlamvu ishaye lapha phansi nenhlamvu eqonde ngophansi Ms. Khumalo yamlimaza.
That is the passage of the record of the 18th of July 2023. But the question that I want to pose to you, Lieutenant Colonel, is that looking at the physical evidence that you found on the scene, vis-a-vis what this witness is saying in her evidence on the 18th of July 2023, what were the possibilities of this witness be in the position to identify the person who was firing a shot?
Manje ngalokufaka zokubekile malana nale nhlamvu naloko esikuzwile ngoMs Khumalo ngalela la kwakungenzeka yini ukuthi uMs Khumalo akwazi ukuthi abembonile lo muntu owadubula lapha phansi.
My lord, that statement places her within the vicinity when the shot was fired, but of identifying the person, I cannot comment on that.
Athi hayi ke le lokho kwenzeka kuyena kumbeka lapha eduze kwa lenhlamvu le eyashaya lapha phansi ukuthi ke yena wayekwazi ukumbona yini wayedubula akukho engakuphawula ngalokho.
As we were part of the investigations, some of the investigations of this case, do you know if any identification parade was done?
Uyazi yini ukuthi kwenziwe ikhomba khomba?
I heard, my lord, I heard there was parade, identification parade done, but I don't know anything about it.
Yes, ukuthi kwakhona ikhomba khomba yayikhona kodwa angazi lutho ngayo.
Mr. Colonel, is it correct that part of the in-service training that you have received from the Forensic Science Laboratory is with regards to the identification of firearms?
Kuyiqiniso yini ukuthi okuyeke nafundiswa kona ngesikhathi niqeqesha lo msebenzi wenu kwawukuthi nikwazi ukwazi nokwahlukanisa izibhamu?
That's correct, my lord.
Athi yebo kunjalo.
Did you receive any training on IBIS tests?
Na ufundiswa yini ke ngokusebenzisa IBIS?
On IBC, yes, I received training on IBC.
Yebo ngafundela ukusebenzisa IBIS.
Is it also correct that you received training on terminal forensic ballistics? That is the wound or wounding effect that the bullet has on the tissue, that is wound ballistics. the effect that the bullet has on the target and the effect that the target has on the bullet.
Ngafundiswa yini futhi nokuthi isibhamu sithinta kanjani indawo lapho esishaya khona nokuthi indawo la isishaya khona inhlamvu la leyo ndawo leyo igcina ishiye okunjani lapho kuleyo nhlamvu.
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo sakufunda nalokho.
Is it also correct that part of the training that you received was that during November 2010, you attended a course presented by Ross M. Gardner and Vivel Gardner, an associate from the United States of America, which comprised of the following: that stain pattern analysis level 1, that stain pattern analysis level 2, and crime scene reconstruction level 1.
Nayifundela izinto ezafundiswa abasemelika kufana khona nokuthi babheke ukuthi igazi uma lichitheka noma lihlolwa kanjani nokuthi ke indawo la kwesigameko uma uzama ukubuyisa ukuthi ngabe kwenzekeni lapho usho ukuthi ke banifundisa yini lokho kwe level 1.
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo sakufundela.
With regards to firearm identification, Lieutenant Colonel, I'll take you to the exhibit that is Exhibit 13D, which is an affidavit compiled by Warrant Officer Roloffs. At paragraph 3 of Exhibit X13D, that is an affidavit which was compiled by Warrant Officer Roloffs. At paragraph 3, he says the following, and I quote: "On the 13th of February 2015, during the performance of my official duties, I received a sealed evidence bag with number FSE 385083 from the Case Administration of the Ballistic Section containing the following exhibits: 3.1, 19mm parabellum caliber CZ model 75 semi-automatic pistol with serial number obliterated and marked it 34369/15 and 1 magazine."
Uthi yena ngomhlaka usho ukuthi lana sifunda ke i-affidavit eyayibhalwa uRoloffs. Uthi yena ngomhla 13 February 2015 ngisemsebenzini ngamukela isikhwama esivaliwe inamba yasuku FSC 385083 evela ku-Case Administration of the Ballistics Section eyayinalokhu ngaphakathi, eyayinalezi lembukiso usho ukuthi isibhamu esisodwa sohlobo lwe-parabellum esiyi-CZ 75 esiwu-semi-automatic ukusho ukuthi sinokuzishintsha futhi-ke isiliya number yaso usho ukuthi inamba lesibhamu yana yayisusiwe and ngase-ke ngiyibhala nginika inamba yokuthi 34369 stroke 15 and kwakunemagazini eyodwa ngalapho ngaphakathi.
In your affidavit, which is Exhibit X13C, paragraph 7 of your affidavit, you state the following: "On Monday, the 20th of July 2020, I received an open seal bag with number PA4000 810885 marked inter alia Cleveland, Mass 96 6/2/15 and SAP 1386/15 containing the following: 7.1, 19mm parabellum caliber CZ model 75 singly and double action semi-automatic pistol with serial number obliterated marked 34369/15 on the trigger guard and one magazine.
Uthe wakho-ke umbiko kuthiwa mhla 20 kuJulayi kuwumsombuluko ngathula isibhamu esivuliwe esesinenamba PA 400 008 esasimakwe ukuthi kokunye simakwe ukuthi Cleveland MAS 96/202/15 and futhi ke nokuthi SAP 1386 of 2015 eyayinalokhu ukuthi isibhamu sohlobo le-Parabellum caliber CZ model futhi ke esasine double action esasemi-automatic esasine-serial number eyayisusiwe and engasimanga ukuthi 34369/15 and lapha kokune nalokhu kubizwa i-trigger guard kusho ukuthi khona-ke bekwe la kudonswa khona kulento edonswayo ukuthi sidukule isibhamu and futhi ke ine-arm magazine eyodwa and kunebhokisi-ke elalinokuthisi.
My Lord, before you adjourn for lunch, Lieutenant Colonel, this firearm which was entered as Exhibit 2 before court, is it with you today?
It's not with me today.
You did not bring it?
No.
Ngosiletanga-ke lesi sibhamu lesi salethwa njengezinye zeyikhombiso zala enkantolo, cha ngizanga naso.
My Lord, with the leave of the court, can I request that we take a long adjournment for lunch?
Okay.
Thank you.
What's the time?
1302. 1302.
Emilio, sta andando a fare